Disclaimer, I am not responsible for any fuck-ups you may or may not have in performing the actions I demonstrate in this video. Follow these steps at your own risk, and I am not responsible for any damage that may or may not occur during this process. Again, follow at your own risk, at your own discretion. That being said, let's get to the show. What's up? So today I'm gonna try and devise a solution to my lightsaber blade flying out when I'm spinning it and twirling it, because there's a lot of force, centripetal or centrifugal, I think centripetal. I need to brush up on my physics, I don't know for sure, but you know when you spin something, the lightsaber blade wants to fly out that way. So I'm using this Luke V1 lightsaber in this video for a specific reason, not a random choice, because this one of all my lightsabers has the shortest amount of blade that gets inserted into the hilt, so it's most prone to having the blade fly out when I'm spinning it. So other blades go in farther, but you can see it's constrained by this thin neck. So it only goes in about that much. There's really not a whole lot to grab onto, and that makes it much more prone to flying out. So what I'm gonna do, what I'm going to attempt, see, I planned it all out in my head, and now it's time to test my theory. So I have this, I have, one second, my drill bits, and I hope those are small enough. But so what I'm gonna do is, first of all, remove these little screws. These are the screws that hold the blade in place. So there's an Allen key there, and it's usually just friction, like pressure. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drill a little bit, and this, if you're gonna follow in my footsteps, is only for blades that you want custom tailored to a specific hilt, because every hilt has a different pattern of screws, and you could use this blade on a different hilt still, but the only issue might be if you have a hilt where the blade goes in deeper and you drill a hole here, and then you want to use this blade on a hilt where it doesn't go in so deep, you're going to have a noticeable hole. So this is mainly for one blade to one hilt matching. So, okay, with that out of the way, that precaution, I'm going to continue to get these things out. Okay, that's 2. This is 3. I think there's 4 total on this design. Okay, 3 and 4. So there's like a triangular pressure pattern, and even with those 3, because some of them have 1 screw, some of them have 2. Even with, I don't think that's a pressure one. Even with 3, it still flies out because there's just not that much meat to grab. But that's what she said. So I brought something else. I thought I had screws, but I guess I don't. All right, well, I'll figure that out later, I guess. So first, insert the blade, make sure it works. It works. Now, find your drill bit. I think I'm gonna want to go one bigger. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to drill with one hand, to be honest, but it's either this one or this one. I think this is a little bit bigger. Maybe I'll start with the smaller one. All right. So I'll put that in my drill. So, I don't know if you can see. I guess you can kind of see. I'm sitting cross-legged and my phone is resting against my legs, so I need 2 hands to drill. This is the view you're getting. I hope you like it. All right, so initially, I just want to mark it, which I did. And then now, I want to get deeper now that I can actually see. Yeah, so that's not doing anything. I don't know if I can actually drill through this. So this is tough to drill into. All right, I'm gonna go off camera and clue you in. And if you're seeing this, I've succeeded. And if you're not seeing this, then I have. All right, you're seeing this, so it worked. So I have the one that's screwed in here. Screwed in. You cannot get this fucking blade out. You can't get in because it's not just friction. It's actually mechanically like stuck in there, like penetrating, hooked in. So, I don't know if you can see this. I did succeed. I had to use a drill bit that was two sizes bigger than I initially thought. But there you go. That's just one hole. And it's not that deep, just deep enough to get to let the screw grab it. And that goes in there. Line up, I mean, when the screw's out, it's easier, but line up the hole with where the screw is. And then instead of just having the screw push this or push onto the blade and having it stuck in with friction, it actually inserts into the shell of whatever the fuck this is, PVC or whatever. It actually goes in. So instead of just having, so there's a force pushing that way when I'm spinning it, or when you're spinning your lightsaber, there's a force on the blade pushing that way. It wants to go out. And so there needs to be an equal and opposite force going that way. Or a greater force. But so there needs to be a force going that way to cancel out the force going that way. And so usually it's just friction. It's static friction. And that's really not enough, especially if you're twirling this thing for more than like 5 minutes or even 1 minute if you're going fast. The faster you go, the higher the force. So instead of having static friction pushing back that way or counteracting this centripetal force, now there's actually a normal force from the edge of this plastic against the screw, which is much stronger. So I'm going to get the other ones drilled out, and then I'll show you the final product. Oh, and by the way, I was wrong. It's centrifugal, not centripetal. Centrifugal is going out. So, yeah. All right. Great news. Everything has worked. So I want to show, damn, even unscrewed, it's harder to get out now. I want to show the dimples right here. Okay. I think that's focused, right? You can see that? So I have 1, 2. They're more like dimples. I haven't drilled all the way through this outer shell. Maybe if you're working with a 7/8 inch blade, it'll be different. Actually, I probably will do this to my 7/8 inch blade. This is my first time ever doing this, so I guess I'll see how 7/8 is later. But this is a 1 inch blade. There's the third one, there's the fourth one. So all of these line up with the screws. So if I take, this is the only one with a double screw here. So you see the 2 dimples, line those up, insert like so. And then, like I said before, these will actually go into the shell now, and it's not just friction anymore. So it's actually like mechanically screwed together, and this hilt and blade are now one piece. And so that's all screwed. Let me see if it worked. Oh yeah. Yeah, so that's not coming apart. You could do whatever you want to do with this now. Oh wait, that's not supposed to happen. Okay, 1 second. All right, so something came up. I don't think I had the blade pushed in far enough, so this, I don't know if it's all lightsabers or just this one, but this has a thing where you can put it in, and there's a place where it lights up, and then there's a little bit extra. There's like a spring action, a tiny bit more you can push it in. And I set my screws to hook in to just here, where it was just lighting up. And that, I don't think that was far enough, because even now you can see it doesn't really connect properly. So now this is a different blade. The other one I'm gonna use on a different lightsaber where it goes in farther anyway, so it doesn't matter. I'm fucking up so you don't have to. So this time I'm going to drill my holes with the blade completely pushed in, and let's see if that works. All right, so when I'm making these dimples, what I'm doing is applying some force and pulsing, because I don't want to drill too far into this. I don't want to make a hole. I just want to make a crater, so to speak. It does kind of look like the lunar surface. But okay, so all 4 dimples have been made. Now it's time to set it up like I showed you before. Line up the screws, screw them not just up against the surface, but actually into the surface, penetrating the surface, and I'll see if it works this time. Okay, so everything's screwed in, and as you can see, it's working. I'm gonna take this outside and give it a field test. If you're working with this hilt in particular, I do recommend wearing gloves, because I'm gonna have a hell of a time getting all the oil and fingerprints off of this. But I was excited to make the video, so I didn't put the gloves on. I will pay for that. But here we go. Outside test. All right, so I'm outside now. This light is gonna shut off in a couple seconds. Got my lightsaber here, and I'm gonna start spinning this like hell. So yeah, just to recap, push the lightsaber blade all the way in. There's a little spring, at least on this one. It's a little spring where if you just touch the internal components here, the blade will light up, but you want to push it all the way down to have it fully secure and have it work like that. All right. So these screws are hooked in with the drilled holes, and now let me try and spin it. So for some background, I would spin this maybe a dozen times or less, and this blade would turn off because the centrifugal force would pull the blade out of the socket ever so slightly. And I mean, I'm smart, so I've never actually had the blade fly out because I always catch it early, but like it shuts off before the light shuts off before the blade flies out. But I've also been very careful because I thought it might fly out, and I think I don't have to be so careful anymore because I don't think this is ever going to fly out again. Or not again, because I never did, but I don't think this is at risk of flying out anymore. I am really fucking winging it right now. Like full fucking force. This would have gone flying before. Yeah, this fucking works. This works. This works. Yeah, so follow these steps at your own discretion. If you fuck around with your lightsaber and you actually use it, it's not just on the shelf, you need to do this, especially if you don't have a lot of meat like in the hilt, you know, if it's a short neck saber like this, or thin neck, I think that's what they call them, I don't know. But you know, if your blade is prone to flying out, drill some holes. Good night, everyone.